I'm sure many of us have had our doubts on whether we can go to university. We may have thought that you can only go to university if you can pay your tuition fees outright, if your parents have been to university, or if you have gone to private school. Well, we are all here because we know that is not the case. I remember being at my first MAP event a few years ago. I remember being nervous, and I was a little bit scared of someone telling me that I did not belong at university. My parents had never been to university. It was my father's dream to go, but with Afghanistan becoming extremely dangerous, my parents had to leave the country in hopes for a better life. Whilst I was dreaming about going to university, my parents were struggling to make ends meet. Our version of a fun day out was going on a bus ride with my dad being the driver. We done this because it was fun, but also because it was cheap. What stood out to me was driving past the University of Manchester on graduation days, and my parents would always wonder when, or even if, it would ever be their turn to watch their loved ones graduate. My parents were extremely supportive of anything to do with education. I grew up hearing the phrase, anything for education. So this meant when I would want a school book, my dad would have to go days without eating at work to afford that for me. My best friends were also very supportive of my dreams to go to university. It was great having an amazing support system. However, not everyone was so positive about my dreams. I grew up hearing teachers say that law was too competitive for me, or hearing other people say that law is not a good career choice for a female. My friends convinced me to go with them to a MAP talk. At first, I was quite nervous and embarrassed about putting my details on the application form. My mother had health issues, and I would have to look after her and my younger siblings, and this was something I was quite embarrassed about. This responsibility made me feel like I wouldn't be able to commit to the program. However, I applied and got into the program. During my first event, I was terrified. I felt like I needed to put on a persona. I felt like I couldn't let people know that I came from a working class background, or that I went to a state school, or that my parents had never gone to university. One of the many things about MAP that I am grateful for is that I was surrounded by people who came from similar backgrounds to me, and rather than using it as something I was embarrassed about, I saw it as my unique edge. Once MAP got going, I had the opportunity to meet with my academic advisor. Again, I was quite nervous because I thought she would tell me I was over ambitious, and I thought she would look down on me. Instead, she was really supportive. I asked her questions about my academic assignment, and I asked her about graduation. She answered all my questions and finished the meeting by saying that she believed in me, which was something I really needed to hear. I successfully completed MAP, attending all of the compulsory events and as many optional events as I could. I also went through the Decision Manchester process to get an early decision on my application. I really enjoyed going to events because I was able to work towards my future. If I had not participated in MAP, I would have no idea how to turn my dreams into a reality. During my A-levels, I struggled a bit and was having panic attacks during lessons. I was predicted an A-star AA, but I achieved an A-star BB. This should have meant that I would have missed out on my place at my dream university studying my dream course. However, with the reduced offer that MAP offers, I was able to get into the University of Manchester. I was also eligible for the undergraduate access scholarship that I got for completing MAP, and I was able to use this to pay for books, travel, and other necessities. 3 years later, I graduated from the University of Manchester with a first-class degree in law. My parents came with me to the Whitworth Hall and watched me graduate. I beat stereotypes. I jumped through hurdles that I never thought I could jump through, and I was one step closer to achieving my dream. My favourite pictures from graduation day was when I put the graduation hat on my mum and on my dad. This was the closest they would ever get to graduating, but it was the most special day of their life. I would also like to mention, if you have parents, carers, friends or family who are not supportive of you going to university, there are many, many other MAP students on the same boat as you. I want you to realise you have a whole team here who want you to succeed. The MAP team will always be here for you. Take every opportunity that you're given and never feel guilty about it, because you deserve every opportunity that comes your way. Never compare yourself to someone else and think just because they have an advantage, then they will be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher and you will not. Never let anything block your shine, and always be proud of who you are and where you have come from. Thank you.